mention to yourself.
To myself, okay.
Agroforestry, as an agroforestry man,
Yeah.
if I may say so. What is it about you, and what is it about agroforestry that you like?
Oh. I think I am an agroforestry lover. I started as a biologist, especially in plant ecology. I did my master's in forestry, forest ecology, so also as a forester. But then I realized that I really wanted to work with people. You know? Most people in the forestry tend to work mostly with plants, and there are very few people in the forest. So I wanted to get away from that and decided that I wanted to keep this eye on the trees in the forest, but work more with the people. So that brought me immediately into agroforestry. And I found it really exciting because in agroforestry you have to work in many different subjects. Sometimes you are talking about livestock and how to manage a herd. You know, what is the milking curve of a lactating cow? And next day you're talking about annual crops and light and nutrients and pollination or perennial tree crops, and still have to talk about trees. So what is really interesting in agroforestry to me is this diversity of topics that you have to deal with. You have to work with the ecological aspects of the agroforestry, with the ecosystem services, the conservation, the biodiversity, but also the socioeconomics of it, you know, whether it's profitable or not, whether farmers make a living of this, they like it or not, even psychological things, you know, especially with trees. Many people have specific ideas, you know, have preferences or sometimes aversions about trees, and all these aspects of the agroforestry world is what really attracts me to this field.
So then if I can summarize what you just said, then agroforestry is a full package for life for every farmer. That's why you wanted to. But then let's link agroforestry to the topic of this year's Tropentag 2012. What role, in your own opinion, does agroforestry have? Would agroforestry give agricultural systems, if done in agroforestry, kind of buffer or give it resilient against any crisis at all?
I think so, yes. I think agroforestry is right at the center of the topic of the Tropentag. Because most of the time we are discussing about the impacts of agriculture and livestock production system on the environment. And the reference we have for a good way of doing things is always the forest and the trees. Now, when you talk about agroforestry, you're really talking about the integration of these two things, you know, about the production and all the implications that it has for the environment and for the livelihood of the family and the society, and the implication that they have for the natural resources and the environment. And then at the same time, you already have the solution there because you are working with a large number of species. Normally, agroforestry systems are more diverse than most intensive monocultural systems. The presence of the trees, because of the permanent nature, gives a lot of stability to the soil. It produces the organic matter, and they capture the carbon, they mitigate the climate. So I would say agroforestry really, in some way, summarizes all the conflicts and all the possibilities for agriculture and environment.
How realistic are these? Are we not overestimating the potentials of agroforestry?
I would say no, in the sense that, of course, we are not talking about totally natural forest. No? These are managed systems. But we are not in the other extreme of the monocultural agricultural production system. So we are somewhere between intensive monocultural system and pure conservation of natural forest. And in the middle somewhere, there is a range of systems where you can manipulate or manage the trees and the plants and the biodiversity to have an acceptable and good production for the living of the people and the society, but while at the same time solving many problems regarding the use of natural resources and the environment.
Okay. So I think there's reason to be happy now because
so.
agroforestry has a solution. Now let's talk about CATIE as an organization. May we know a little bit about it and areas of interest?
Yeah. CATIE is an organization that was created really 60 years ago, after the Second World War. In Latin America in general, there was a need for professionals in the agricultural sector. And at that time, the Organization of American States created an institution with the support of the United States Department of Agriculture, created an institution that was called the Instituto Interamericano de Ciencias Agrícolas. That's the Inter-American Institute for Agricultural Sciences. And for almost 40 years, this IICA organization was based in Turrialba in Costa Rica with this goal of educating people at the master level in all Latin American countries, do agronomic and forestry and natural resources research, and help the governments to implement all these new technologies into the development of their countries. In 1973, there was this decision that this IICA split in two and created two organizations. One, IICA, which now, instead of focusing on the technical aspects of the development, focus more on the political aspects. And then CATIE was created to keep on this line of technical aspect with the responsibilities for development for the member countries of Latin America, higher education. We have a master and a PhD school in our program, and do research, because we always need new technologies, new ideas, new knowledge. So CATIE is this organization. As CATIE, we have 40 years of history now, and we still have the three main objectives, which is support development in the rural sector in Latin America with a strong focus on the Mesoamerican region, and to do this development with integrating education for masters and PhD and research to create the technologies and innovation. And we work still along those three major lines. Currently, CATIE has 6 major thematic areas. For example, we still work in agroforestry and ecological agriculture. We work in forestry and biodiversity. We work in sustainable cattle production system, livestock production system, that's number 3. In eco-enterprises, rural enterprises, environmental economics, and climate change and territorial management. So those are the main 6 major research topics that we tackle. And we develop projects for the member countries along these lines. And in each project, we always have the education and the research. So this is CATIE.
That's it, boss. Finally, Tropentag. What brings you to Tropentag? What does it offer you? And what would you say to other researchers about Tropentag?
Well, Tropentag, this is my second Tropentag. I came in 2009. I think it was in Hamburg. It was, as always happened, colleagues, colleagues. As colleagues say, well, this guy is doing something that would be interesting to discuss and to share in the Tropentag. And I got an invitation to come to talk about agroforestry in both occasions. In this case, Dr. Christoph Klein, Professor Klein from the Forestry Department, he worked in CATIE for a number of years, and we got to know each other for quite a long time. And he said, well, now we got the Tropentag here in Göttingen, and I will be sharing one of the sessions. I want you to come and talk about agroforestry. So that's why I'm here. But I think the Tropentag is a wonderful initiative. I'm so happy that this happens every year, bringing together all the the professors and all the students with all the research programs and development programs in all over the world to discuss and share their ideas, to meet each other, to do not only the technical part, but all the social gathering, people get to know each other, and maybe in the future, other trumpet time.
Yeah.
We'll be here
Thank you.
or somewhere else.
Thank you
So
very
it's
much
really
for your
great.
time and for
It was a pleasure. Okay.